What a glorious autumn morning. I've decided to put my thick jumper on and do some crafting out on the patio. And as they say, there's no such thing as bad weather. You just need to be dressed accordingly. And for today's project, I'm going to make myself a wreath using horse chestnuts or conkers. And if you want to do this, you'll need a wreath base. And I'm going to be using this straw base, my hot glue gun, and I think probably hundreds of conkers. And if you like all things crafting, flower arranging and thrifting, why don't you subscribe to my channel? All you need to do is hit the red button that says subscribe, and that means next time you open the YouTube app on your phone, your tablet or your laptop, one of my videos will be waiting for you. Hello there, I'm Julie from Julie Davis Flower Workshop and Flower Start, the online flower arranging classes. So wreath ring at the ready, a whole bag full of chestnuts and a hot glue gun, and I'm ready to start my seasonal door wreath. Door ring at the ready, I've also got my hot glue gun plugged in with some extra glue sticks, and then I have got so many conkers. I didn't know how many I would need for this project, so I just collected and collected, and I was rather pleased to beat all the children to it. I think perhaps conker fights have gone out of fashion, and I will say that I think these conkers are really great size. They seem much bigger than in previous years, so let me know in the comments whether you're a regular conker gatherer, and what are the size of conkers in your neighbourhood. This is a really simple crafting project. What I'm going to do is take each conker and glue it on to my wreath. The problem that will occur though is that with all these rounded forms, you're going to get left with lots of little gaps. So it may be that you might want to cover your door wreath with a sort of under planting of material. Perhaps you've got some sisal left over from a previous project. Perhaps like me, you might have some string and you might want to closely bind your wreath with string. You might like the straw effect, but what I'm going to do is to glue my conkers in place, and then I've got some moss and I'm going to poke that in the gaps. So a question for you, how many conkers do you think I will need to complete my door wreath? I haven't got a clue. So that's why I have been collecting loads and loads, because I don't want to be running short. So let's make a start. So although we think of conkers as being nice rounded objects, they are rather strange shapes. And what I'm going to do is not put my conkers all the same way up, just to create a little bit of visual interest, and sometimes to have this top surface showing and sometimes just a smooth dark coating showing, just to have a little bit of variation. Before you think about gluing your conkers in place, don't guess where you need to put the glue. Do a dry fix first, hold your conkers in place and try and work out where the points of contact are, so you glue those sections. And remember as well that your door wreath has got three surfaces: this top side, the side section and the bottom side too, the inside too. So I like to work in quite a rhythmic fashion, and just let your glue dry in place before you move on. Don't be too quick about it. And it may be, if you've got absolutely loads of conkers, you might want to do 2 layers. So the first layer, and then put your conkers over the top where you've got a gap. But I don't think I'm going to do that. So it's a bit like working out, perhaps doing a little mosaic of conkers, or a dry stone wall of conkers, trying to get the best conker to fit in the gaps. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I've got 10 there, I'm going to need 10 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 conkers. That's quite a lot of collecting. Do you see what I mean about those gaps, these little spaces here? So it may be that it doesn't bother you and you just want to have conkers only. But I think for a more polished look, it's quite nice to fill in the gaps with a contrasting material. As I come to the last little bit of the wreath, it's really starting to feel heavy. Oh, and one of the horse chestnuts has pinged off. It's always a good idea to give your wreath a little bit of a shake, and that way you can do your running repairs while you've still got your glue gun out. I've finished adding in all my horse chestnuts, and I did take the opportunity of just having a look to see whether I got any obvious gaps or whether I've been a bit heavy-handed with my glue, and I just placed a few more additional conkers where I felt they were needed. And you can see a little bit of glue here. I've also got a few of these glue trails as well. So if I had my hairdryer to hand, I could plug that in and just melt them away. But I'm thinking it's autumn time, Halloween is around the corner, and I might just embrace those little trails. A little bit of spider webs. So you could leave your wreath just like this. If you want to finesse the look and add a contrasting texture, now's the moment to poke some moss into those gaps. And if you want to know how I've managed to keep my conkers looking so glossy, well, that's a secret I'm sharing over in my YouTube membership group. And if you'd like to join the group, you'll find the joining link in the description underneath this video. For the next stage of this project, I'm going to use some of this moss. This is carpet moss, which I actually bought from a street market in town at Easter time, and I laid it all out on the patio table to actually let it dry. And if you can't get hold of this kind of moss, I mean, you may find some in your lawn, you can always buy the little springy reindeer moss. The thing looks like tiny trees on model railways, and I'll leave a link to that in the notes underneath the video. I've also got myself a kebab stick so I can really press down in between the conkers. So taking a small little bit, you decide how much or how little of the moss you want to add, and what I'm going to do is squirt some glue in a gap, put my moss over the top, and then with the blunt end of the kebab stick just push the moss down a bit. Do you see how it gives the wreath just an added layer of textural interest? I got a few spiky bits in here. I might just remove those. And here is my finished wreath. I am really pleased with the way it worked out. So just a little bit of moss poked into the gaps and the places where I've been particularly heavy-handed with my glue. But be warned, this wreath is really quite heavy. So if you are going to hang it up, you will need quite a substantial ribbon. What I thought I might do is to lay my door wreath flat, put a chunky church candle in the middle, and then light the candles just to warm me up on those dark autumn mornings. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. Why don't you share it with a like-minded friend? And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and join my membership group for lots more flower arranging perks. That's all from me for now, and I'll see you again next time.